Welcome back to Silverback Stadium. I'm Liz Entwistle alongside Chip Burnside. We are here in the men's all-star semi-final. This is a rematch of yesterday's pool play game between the Midwest Barbarians and the Black and Red, taking on the Southeast Bears in the blue. Earlier in the day, we saw the Bears victorious via the strength of their super stable scrums and excellent lineouts, winning over the Tri-State Foundry by a mark of 34-14. And it was the Midwest Barbarians on field one. They took that one against the Mid-Atlantic Sharks by a mark of 52-0. Chip was here yesterday, so he'll be providing all the color and analysis. As we see this rematch, it's such a treat of all-star rugby, being able to see two teams take the lessons from yesterday's games and reapply them today.
Yeah, Southeast were unlucky to lose the game yesterday, 15-12. Yeah, it's going to be an exciting game. We have the Midwest Barbarians staying in the same hotel as us, and I don't know what time they went to bed last night. Liz, do you have any idea?
No clue at all. I was in the gym myself and then doing research for today. But no matter what time they laid their heads to rest, they're awake and ready to go, especially through number 15 here, Taku Musawingi. He is the leading point scorer of the tournament so far. We see him with a scrum cap on. We see the kick off his boot. We also see Taku dropping back. We know that the Southwest has a plan to counter with their kicks. They've realigned their backs from the game that we saw earlier in the day. Right now, they're going to do it through the forwards. We see the ruck at the far side of the field. Realignment here, the little chip over the top. That young man we saw in the fly half position in our earlier match, but Hamilton Marino has moved onto the wing in order to have more kicking power across their back three. Pressure applied by the Southeast Bears. Looking to dig that ball out is the Midwest. Not able to release, so we're going to see a penalty just past midfield.
Yeah, as we just pointed out, the wind is picking up here, and that kick was swirling around and it ended up bouncing before the guy corralled it. So the kicking game is going to be more important here in these matches.
And a fantastic kicking game to come here off the boot of Taku Musawingi. We see him remove that scrum calf every time he goes for a conversion and a penalty. Mentioned he was the leading point scorer. As of yesterday, he had 28. With the 52-0 win earlier, he surely added to that tally. He wasn't a try scorer yesterday. All of his points came from his boot, and we know this is well within his range. We saw him hit from 45 meters, 48 meters repeatedly yesterday. This is the day where they're winning, competing to win, so points are a great choice.
Yeah, it's not going to be an easy kick. He would be, as I would describe him, a talisman player. So as he goes, so would the Barbars go.
Taku with the strike off the left foot. It has the distance, it has the height, and Midwest has the lead. 3-0 here in the first 2 minutes of play.
What a kick. Beautiful kick.
So a skilled player, a capped international with the Zimbabwe men's national team. He is one of the most stellar players here in the tournament, certainly one to keep an eye on. We'll keep an eye on number 8, Luke Pugh, as well. We saw him all over the field and all over the try line in yesterday's matches. And then keep an eye out as well for number 1, Sol Gaffa, out of Missouri. As a brother playing in Major League Rugby competition, surely learned a lot with his time in Belmont Shore Youth Rugby. The kick is up and fielded well by the Barbarians. Control in the ruck, not overcommitting.
And there goes Gaffer right on cue. I actually spoke to him this morning and told him to get a bit more involved. I thought he had a bit more game in him. Nice run here.
Speaking of game, we see this run down the sideline. The attempt at the chip covered well. The Bears defense able to realign. They prevent the kick from getting off as planned. And we'll keep an eye on this Southwest Bears lineout. They were so dominant in that earlier game against the Foundry.
Yeah, he's going to try to kick it forward here. He's gone to the he's only a one-footed player, as we would say, and so he tried to put it on the right foot on the left wing. Never a good idea.
The ball bouncing through the line out, not straight. And we hear the Midwest calling for a scrum. I was sitting in on the referee conversations yesterday, the bit of their debrief. And one of the challenges they mentioned is the fact that these are the best of the best players. They come from their college sides, their conference sides, and coming into this tournament setup, that there is a field of captains out there.
Exactly. It's very difficult to defer when you think you're, all that in a bag of chips.
So beautiful view here of the scrum, the quick in and out. Number 26 from the Midwest, not rostered on today's team sheet, so maybe a call up from yesterday's Rising Star action. The ball is out in the middle of the field. We saw Pugh looking for it, advantage being shown, so he thought the ball was out. The referee has some other plans, and that is a penalty to come, a definite offside.
Yeah, he's been an impact player, that Pugh. Was very impressed with him yesterday. And he had I think he might have even scored a try in that in that game against Southeast.
So we see the fly half from the prior match playing on the wing today, still honored with kicking duties, is Hamilton Marino in the number 10 jersey. We'll go back to the play, Chip.
Yeah, that ball wasn't out, and Pugh was, you know, anticipating it, as we would say.
So we get a view of the five-man line out. This time the Southeast executes textbook form, moving the ball out towards the wings. They're looking to use their speed.
Yeah, that's Hansen. He already scored a try already this morning in the earlier game.
Tussle in the middle of the field. Well corralled by the number 17. That's Jacob Jablonski stepping in. And the Midwest does enough to draw the penalty, not releasing on the Bears.
Again, I think they might even take another look at the goal. Yeah. They're going to assess their options for sure. It's really in the same part of the park. Not an easy kick. When you've got a little angle on that thing, that's got to be a good 45, 47 meters. The other one crept over the crossbar, but he has such a nice strike on his kicking. Does Zimbabwe play a lot of sevens? I mean, they don't usually qualify for the World Cup like Namibia does. So I'm a little confused as to why Zimbabwe, if he plays for the national team, is he on the sevens team?
I don't know if that is sevens or 15s, but we have seen a rise with the Challenger Cup when it comes to the Rugby World Cup of Sevens and the World Series as well. So certainly opportunities to play. And then Rugby Africa, of course, going through qualifying processes. That's how South Africa had to get to the Olympics this year, as they didn't have an automatic spot coming into the games in Paris. Had a little bit of a down year when it came to the World Series, but they certainly made their mark. It is well struck again, but this time falls wide. This time he had the distance, had the height, but didn't have the accuracy. A little bit off for the left-footed kicker. This is going to give the Southeast Bears a 22-meter dropout.
It was worth taking a look. They're going to get the ball back here again from the 22 dropout. So certainly there's nothing lost by attempting that.
So you see the cheeky pass from the Bears. The ball can go from anywhere behind that 22-meter mark as long as it is dropped and it crosses the 22-meter line. Mswingi, though, is back. We see the counter kick, and this is a bit of the Bears' game plan. So they talked again about being able to counter through the boot, realigning their backs. They've got numbers to that left-hand side. Maybe a bit of an overload if they can break through this tackle, and they cannot. The Midwest drives them down. Southeast draws the penalty.
Yeah, this team played, yesterday is a very similar game to yesterday. Both teams kind of landing punches at each other, but not knocking each other out. So, it's going to be like this the entire game.
It was the Barbarians' closest game of the tournament thus far. They are a team that has kind of come up out of nowhere in terms of surprising the traditional form. We'll go back to the replay, Chip.
Yeah, Southeast fielded the ball over on this side and got the ball clear over the other side there. So
we are back in action on the field. The Southeast Bears looking to come towards this near sideline. The ball was bobbled. We show advantage being shown to the Bears. It must have been straight down and now draw the penalty themselves. About 45 meters from goal.
High tackle. They're talking about maybe having a kick themselves. Instead, they elect to go to touch with Hamilton Marino having a kick to the stand side there.
I think it's about 15 meters of space downfield. We'll go back to the replay here. So we see the hit, we see the charge.
Yeah, wrapped him around the gills, as we would say. Not that I'm much of a fisherman.
Six in the line out for the Southeast. It is up, it is down, and we've seen this from the Midwest. They've chosen not to engage on several of the mauls, knowing this is the strength of some of the teams in the tournament. This time, the Southeast knows not to concede the penalty. They keep the ball alive. Going through the forward play, pick and go. Stifled by the Midwest defense.
Yeah, the Southeast have got some big forwards, especially Jake Morrison, the guy that won the ball from the line out. They seem like they can play in a number of different ways. They've got some good forwards, they've got some good backs.
We see the chip down field looking for a little bit of space. Midwest able to recover, but it was penalty advantage, so not a bad option. If it was on, it was on. If it's not, they get a reach start.
Yeah, needed a little more air under that one, I thought, but yeah, have a dab with the ball in hand. You knew the penalty's coming. You may as well have swung it out here to this right-hand side.
So again, Hamilton Marino kicking towards the corner, drawing the line out about 6 meters from the goal line. And again, we've seen the Bears so effective in their lineouts all tournament long. We saw them with that stable drive before. Will the Midwest engage on this one is the big question.
I don't think they will. Southeast, they're a very patient team. They've been in all of their games. They don't panic. Lovely
take. The throw
take.
is there. The lift is on. Quickly to ground. Again, changing where the offside and the attacking line will be. Southeast looking to strip it out to the left-hand side. Setting up another forward charge. We hear another whistle blown. We hear the double whistle. We're going to have a conference with our match official. We'll see if we can get some coverage there.
Okay. You went down, not released, get back up.
So having a chat about not releasing the ball. Penalty to the Midwest. Missingwini. Ball in hand, finds touch easily.
Yeah, the guy kind of made he had the ball, then he picked the ball back up again. It was an odd passage of play. Either way, the chance is gone for now for Southeast, but they're camped inside the Barbarians 22.
Southeast Bears straight across in defense. We saw the stack from the Midwest looking for options.
Yeah, the throw wasn't straight. The first tip was that Pugh grabbed it with his right hand. That's a telltale sign.
There's been discussion all weekend long about the 2025 law changes that have gone into effect, kind of codifying the straightness of the lineout, depending on if the opposing team chooses to jump in defense. This weekend, the teams all opted not to play with the new law with the tunnel when it comes to the scrum, which is why we've still seen aggressive challenges from the Nines.
Okay.
So we'll look to have this scrum reset.
Yeah, they've juggled up the back line a little bit. They've got Jablonski at halfback, and we've got the normal Southeast halfback, Hayes. He's playing at fly half.
So look at the replay on the scrum. We saw the drive from the Midwest. We see this loose head prop in the black jersey that was driving a little bit upwards. Meanwhile, on the far side, their tight head prop having a little bit of an issue going down to his knee. A player from the Bears getting a medical evaluation. We'll be back in just a moment.
Yeah, sometimes when those guys twist them, you get caught.
We are back in action with a scrum reset. And in conversations, the referee's directives this weekend looking for it stable and strong. We see the player coming off of the field for the Southeast Bears. That is going to be a loss. I believe the number 19. We'll see if we get confirmation on that in just a moment. Back in action on the field. We see the scrum again. This Midwest drive going quite high, and this time Southeast able to get the ball out.
That's Hansen there with a big crash.
And then the Bears looking to go to their hands, into the hands of an earlier try scorer, number 11. That's Chase Travis on the ball. Taken down, well supported. Midwest realigning. We see multiple pods of offensive options when it comes to the Southwest team. We see the forwards aligned again. The option is there for a big man to take it forward, and the Midwest instead comes forward in defense, stifling this Southeast attack. Maintaining possession, one of our solid principles of play when it comes to the game of 15s. The Bears still on the go. Realign this time towards the near sideline. Again, an excellent launch from this Barbarians defense.
Southeast going nowhere at the moment, but they still maintain possession.
Again, numbers to the right. We saw the scrum half only looking right. You knew exactly where that ball was going. And again, the Midwest able to read it like a book. Solid support at the ruck. Midwest zeroes out and they realign. So they're getting these defensive overloads, able to launch, able to go forward, stopping the Southeast at or behind the gain line with each phase of play. Southeast doing so well to corral possession, looking to go through the big man, Jake Morrison, towards the outside. It's taken down after some meters gained. And again, they look like Jordan Caro is the ball carrier. Numbers to this right-hand side for the Southeast. And again, look at this, 5 black Midwest bodies defensively.
Yeah,
Perfect
the defense
alignment.
Very good, yeah, by the Barbarians.
The defense does enough, causes the misplay, causes the bobble forward. Advantage being shown to Midwest. Possession is there. Looks like advantage gained. Midwest fighting their way forward. It's another strong contact made in the middle of the field. We see number 4 from the Southeast, Maxton Buckingham, back on his feet. Down again. So we'll have a moment for player evaluations and come back to the broadcast shortly. So go back to the action on the field. We look at this contact made. So the shoulder down by number 4, but the shoulder also down. That Midwest ball carrier. Excellent body positioning. And unfortunate, perhaps a stinger, right in the trapezius. We are back in action with a scrum reset. Southeast Bears players making his way off of the field. The strong Midwest defense is really making a difference.
Yeah, that was a sustained period of defense by them. They soaked up all of that pressure, and now they've got the ball back. Now it's going to be Southeast's turn to experience some level of contact. Just a very disciplined defense. I thought they weren't coming up super fast, but they were well spread. There wasn't really any options available to them. I think that probably Southeast might employ that little chip kick over the top. Hamilton Marino, and also Peyton Hayes is one who's prone to put the ball on the foot.
Midwest with the put in, a strong, stable scrum results after a quick chat with our match official, Jerome Levesque. Midwest making their way towards midfield. Taken down. An advantage being shown. That ball is being tied up. Eventually, the scrum half's able to dig it out. We see the little chip in the nudge downfield. Finally in action is our Midwest fly half, Cohen Webb. Cohen Webb had quite a day yesterday, but lacking as much possession today. We have not seen him as flashy as he was before.
This is probably makeable by the fullback here if he chooses to kick it. But as you said, he's got to tell. He'll either take the cap off if he's kicking or not. So don't play cards with Liz. That's all I can tell you. I lost my house and also my car last night in a game of poker.
It was a crazy game of poker, to quote OAR. The kick finds its mark, and we have a Midwest lineout just inside of the 22. A long strike from midfield by Musunguini.
Yeah, that was a good kick. You know, it's difficult to find touch here when you're dead in the middle of the field.
Our game clock showing inside of a minute to play, but given all the stoppages on the field between injury and the scrums resetting, we anticipate 3 to 5 more minutes of play after the half. Games today going a tad longer. Again, referee directives to ensure safe and stable platforms. The 5th match for these teams in action. The ball is up and it is quickly down. The Midwest is on the go. We see them feints in action from the inside center to the outside center, supported by Musunguini. Draper.
Oh, he's through. That's Hahn.
So too easy for Benson Hahn in the Midwest jersey, going over the line. A stable attacking platform coming from the line out, going to ground. And look at this action here. Draper going forward, bowls his way through. Southeast looking to realign, but look at their heads, look at their hip shapes, and look at the space that has opened here for Hahn from the Midwest.
Yeah, they were expecting that ball to go out through the chain, and instead he just basically cut inside, and then there was no one home.
Love that look from the hooker out of Carleton College up in Minnesota, is represented on the Midwest select side, the Scholastic All-American, and the Minnesota College select side. One of several programs represented across both Midwest teams. We also saw the Midwest Rising Stars in action. They won their semifinal earlier on field 1.
Well, he didn't take his cap off this time, but anyway, it's too late, you know, for my card playing ability.
Midwest extends their lead, going up 10-0 on the strength of the penalty, the try, and the conversion. They've done it all. Coming from the line out, moving the ball across the field, back inside, through the forwards, playing to their strengths. Mentioned their forwards as a key component of their match today. Southeast with the restart into the hands of Musunguini.
Yeah, lovely take. He just makes things look easy.
See the exit from inside the 22, a high sky ball fielded well by the Southeast, but penalty advantage giving the Midwest another go.
Yeah, offside, says the referee.
This might be a tad out of his kicking range to go for post.
Yeah, he's going to go for the touch here. Going to have this line out, and then we could probably go to halftime. The Barbarians probably be content just to see what's there, if anything's on offer, but they're not interested in throwing it wildly around here with the first half just about to expire.
Quite a difference from day 1 to day 2 in terms of tactics and strategies. Again, both teams speaking to the strength of their forwards, knowing that there are corrections to be made. We've seen them evenly matched, just as they were in yesterday's pool play game.
Despite all the misdirection in the line out, I reckon they're going to go to Pew.
He is back there as a lifter jumper option.
Instead, they go to the back. That's Gaffer.
Pew comes away with the ball in hand. Pew fighting his way forward. The Bears are there. Support is there as well. The Barbarians keeping the ball alive. They've got numbers to this right-hand side. We see an excellent setup with their forward pod. Draper in there, but instead in the hands of Raymond Hahn. Holden Hahn, one of several players from University of Kentucky across 3 teams in this tournament. And it is Midwest on the front foot, looking to add one more 10-0 with game time up. But we cannot end the match until there's a try or a natural stoppage of play. And that is one of those stoppages of play. The Midwest cops the ball forward. This is going to be advantage to the Southeast Bears. The Bears looking to counter, see if they can get something together in these final seconds of the first half. Taken well by Jordan Caro. The Bears trying to draw in some of this Midwest defense towards the near sideline. They've got numbers out to the far, and they've got a penalty, Chip.
Yep. We're going to have some more. We've got bonus action here. He takes the tap, and it kind of fell off his foot, and he ends up for the safety of the sideline. And so that's halftime here at in this semi-final match. The Midwest Barbarians up 10-0, courtesy of 2 tries, unconverted. Sorry, it was a penalty and a converted try in that first half. 10-0, they lead the Southeast Bears. We'll be back in a moment.
In our game, we play with our hearts. We don't play with sticks, bats, or gloves. We don't wear shoulder pads or helmets. We keep playing when it hurts. And we leave everything on the field. What we wear must be built for our game.
Let's get ready. Major League Rugby is now.
This is the moment we waited for. Everything you want is right here. We gon' give them what they came for. We gon' take it up from last year.
The Rugby Network is giving you all the free MLR content you want, live and on demand. Never miss a hit, never miss a try, never miss your team. MLR on TRN. Never miss a match.
Rugby is all about feeling. The feeling when you crouch, when you bind, when you set. The feeling when you go into that first defender. The feeling when you make that first tackle. The feeling when you take that first hit. We are that feeling. We are contact. We are Rhino.
Welcome back to Silverback Stadium. I am Liz Entwistle alongside Chip Burnside here for the second half of action in this men's all-star semifinal. It is the Southeast Bears kicking off to the Midwest Barbarians. 10-0 the lead for the Midwest via the strength of a try, a converted try, and a penalty. Midwest looking for the counter kick. This plays into a bit of the Bears' game plan. They were looking to counter from the boot. They decided instead to keep the ball in hand. And they've got some action on the far side, but a little bit too far outside.
Yeah, you try to pin them deep there, and a nicely fielded ball there by the Southeast fullback. I think that's Starnes, and he looked for some support down that line. They're exploring their options, the Southeast Bears.
We see the throw again going over the top, something of a revert to form to yesterday's action. The Midwest, though, it doesn't matter. They are into Bear territory. Draper with a quick offload. Sets his player back quite a bit.
Hahn did very well to pick that ball up.
You see the flair of the Midwest backs and actions. Musunguini, the double tackle. As Hamilton Marino, again, slotted, wearing the number 10 jersey, but out on the wing. Jack Pugh for the Midwest, fighting his way forward. Stifled by the Bears defense. Midwest with numbers, but it's the Southeast with the scrum.
Yeah, it seems like Midwest are content to just march down the field and then kind of pin the Southeast team back and then go, okay, well, you're going to have to beat us by going 75 meters down the other end.
Midwest has done well indeed with the ball in hand. Their defense creating so many opportunities. We saw this yesterday, a launching, stifling defense. The Southeast team will need to cook up something. We do see a change. Hamilton Marino in the number 10 jersey back in the first receiver position. So that experiment with him on the wing, they've brought him in instead to be a bit more of a playmaker. They retain Jacob Jablonski as their scrum half, where earlier in the day we saw Peyton Hayes in that 9-10 combination. Jablonski from the back, Hamilton Marino. Well-timed run here by the Bears center, and off he goes around the outside. It's River Hansen, taken down by the Midwest, but buys him a bit of space and an opportunity here with the Midwest in transition on defense. It's slowed down just enough to allow the Midwest to realign, and it is the Southeast now taken back. Southeast. Numbers towards this near sideline. Caro with the ball in hand. Caro with the offload. A little bit of space here. Here come the Bears. Looking for another offload and a little bit of magic, and the Midwest defense does it. The ball coughed back. Musunguini. A threat to kick. He shows and he goes, and it's Musunguini carving his way back downfield. Musunguini making up all that meters. Midwest towards the far sideline. Setting the platform, and they have their forward pods set in action. We see the nudge downfield with no fullback back for the Southeast, but Midwest doesn't put the chase on. Penalty advantage brought back.
Yeah, the fullback had came in to make that tackle after Musunguini had made all of those yards up. He does everything that he does as he has so much time. He just looks a very classy player.
We'll go back to that sequence again through the forwards. That's Caro with the palm off and Caro with the offload. And good go forward here by the Bears, looking to recreate that magic again. And it doesn't quite get there off the hands of Brandon Bibb. And it's Midwest back on the other side, using that speed. Their number 21, Renheimer. Now settling back into a line out, and this is a game that has settled. We saw this as a fierce contest yesterday, 15-12. The Midwest 52-0. They had all gas, no brakes in their quarterfinal game, whereas the Southeast played a strategic, tactical game with a solid win over the Foundry.
Southeast is not going away.
They most certainly are not. They intercept the line out, and it is Southeast with advantage being shown, making their way outside of the 22. One of the only times you have opportunities against this Midwest defense is when they are in transition. Right now, carving his way through the middle of the field. Southwest on the go. Believe that was Jablonski with the ball in hand. Southeast, another penalty. And finally, a little bit of action for Van Rooyen in the number 7 jersey. Getting the offload going forward is our other favorite flanker, Matthew Beacom in the number 6. Southeast rumbling their way downfield, so getting Midwest on the back foot. Their defensive set, not the same that we've seen. Hayes in the number 9 jersey. There's numbers to this near sideline for the Southeast if they can get the ball there. The Midwest defense a bit too much, ties them up in the middle. Securing the ruck. And the Southeast on the go again through the hands of Dakota Almasan. Outside to number 24, Henry Shepard. And the Midwest with the turnover via penalty.
Yeah, they didn't agree with that. Van Rooyen is gesticulating to the referee. Southeast looked better when the Midwest team's defense is not set. Anytime they can get them into a little bit of broken play, they look quite dangerous.
100%. The Midwest tactic of being able to slow the ball down at some of these rucks and off these set pieces has paid off. And here is a space that did open for the Southeast. Again, Henry Shepard taking that ball in, cutting in. We see the low tackle. We see the contest for the ball. It is rights to the Midwest. He's over the ball. Great body form, but not releasing. So that's the penalty to the Barbarians.
Yeah, you know what? If just release the ball. if you just release the ball, when you're already tackled, if the other guy's going to get it, well, I guess he's going to get it.
So we are set for a line out. We do have a Midwest player down deep in their half of the field. We'll be back in just a moment. So that's Midwest number 8, Jack Pugh, holding his nose. When he was talking to some of the medical staff yesterday, they did mention that broken noses were the #1 injury of the tournament thus far. Midwest set for the line out just in front of us, 5 in. See the throw going over the top. That's a second turnover or a near turnover in the line out from a Midwest possession.
Well, Pugh is the go-to in the line out, so then immediately you've got a substitution in there and the thing goes off the rail straight away. Not surprising. Same whenever you change the hooker out and then you have the throw to the line out, your timing is off.
So we see the challenge in the air. We see the Midwest ball in hand. And it's going to be southeast scrum. Jablonski. The Bears stacked towards the far side of the field. They draw the free kick. Tapped by Jablonski. He had Beacom on the inside. He looks towards the outside. It is a long looping pass. It buys the Midwest time to crash their defense. And now a slower ball lets them realign. Southeast is there via Caro. You see this Caro bib combo in 3 and 19. Keep an eye on them for the rest of the half. Southeast Bears. Morrison. Offload is on into the hands of Hayden Mousley. And the Southeast pushing the pace a bit. Ethan Richardson.
Now they need quick ball here.
Jablonski with the distribution. We see 4 Bears there in, making sure that they secure the ball, trying to get it out quick. It allows the Midwest to realign. Taken down is Peyton Hayes. The Bears again with a slower ball, this time with the pick and go, able to gain the meters forward, trying to suck some of the Midwest in. Caro into Beacom. Beacom taken back. It was a punishing leg drive on that Midwest tackle. Bears on the go again. Noah Ainsworth, ball in hand. Noah Ainsworth fighting his way, getting those meters, getting to ground. Another pick and go off the back. The Bears taking out a page of the Midwest playbook. Possession, 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 but they are making their way downfield. Caro gets some solid meters again. He has reignited a bit of this offense, getting the go forward.
They're getting meters here. There's no reason to get it out to the backs just yet.
The pick and go again. We do see Caro in a receiver position. In discussion here too with Jacob Jablonski in the number 17 jersey. A pick and go again. Beacom, a solid leg drive. The ball coughs out. Penalty advantage to the Bears.
Very impressed with Beacom and his running partner Van Rooyen. They thrive on contact. Jake Morrison has just been a beast in there, and Jordan Caro, he's having an absolute cracking game here. Give him the ball again.
Well, there's Morrison with the ball in hand. He gets the go forward. The forwards are there in support. Keeping an eye on this Midwest defense. All their eyes towards the ball. There could be opportunities for the Bears, but they like what they see in front of them. The Bears forward pack is doing it again. Meters, inches, centimeters away. We know the forwards are there. Scrum half. Jablonski is back off of the ruck. We know that he's not going in to dig around, so we're expecting these forwards picks and goes, and we expect a forward try. There it comes after a review. They were close if it wasn't there.
Just sustained pressure. I say it's a try.
Offside. Number 26 specifically.
I think that's what I want to check. Thank you. 26, you said? Okay. We're getting into multiple offsides in the 22. You're under pressure. Okay, yellow card is getting warm. Okay, number 26 offside. Make sure hands and feet are back.
So we're having a penalty review. There were multiple offside infractions by the Midwest team. So now this is drawing the penalty back to the Southeast Bears. And again, the Midwest on the goal line. Look at all their eyes. Look at their body stances. They're set up like football players, gearing towards the middle. Southeast drawing them in. Beacom with the ball in hand. And over the top and over the line. There you go. There's your forward try, Chip.
It's Ainsworth. Yeah, I thought he was in before, but just sustained pressure. And again, going back to that point before, they're very patient, the Southeast team. They don't panic. So they got them for offside here. The guy was cribbing forward. This was the actual try. That was the one before. So the penalty was for offside because the guys weren't on the line. And here they would not be denied. Yeah, some of the Midwest players were over the line. They have to have their feet on the line or behind the line. And that's what caused that penalty. And I thought that they were probably under the last chance there before they were going to get a yellow. Important kick here.
It's Peyton Hayes lining it up for the Southeast in the number 9 jersey, but hasn't played in the number 9 position today. Again, some realignments for the Bears, trying out their different player combos. It's got the height. The kick is good, 10-7. And the Bears are going to be receiving the kickoff.
Great kick. Some players shine when the pressure is on. And I do like this Peyton Hayes. Wasn't an easy kick. He's one of these guys that clearly, likes the big moment.
A big moment ahead for Musunguini with the kickoff. We see the Midwest lined up towards this right side of the field, raring to go. A gorgeous kick, buying them time to put some pressure on, fielded well by the Bears, the Southeast. We'll see if they keep going with the same playbook. Their forward power got them that try, trailing by 3 points with 6.5 minutes left to play. Just inside of the 22. Buying themselves a bit of breathing room with a kick to touch.
Nice exit. He hooked that one nicely into touch. Ask questions of the Midwest team. They're going to say, is your line out working now without your number 1 jumper in there?
Well, number 1 jumper's back on the field. It was just a blood sub. So
Yeah,
Midwest answered your question there, Chip.
He's been in the blood bin. They went, uh-oh, it's a line out. Let's get our red-headed fellow back out there.
Some whispers from our number 4, Andrew Boucher. Perhaps a change in plan. And now we see Pugh with the lift. The Bears trying to break through, nearly get a hand on the ball, but recovered by the Midwest. Sol Gaffa saves his team possession into contact. Midwest, numbers to the left-hand side. There's a forward pod ready to go and ready to knock on. The whistle is blown, scrum to the Bears.
So often in a game of rugby, there's a little tipping point. They won possession from that line out. Everything was like they took a deep breath. Whew. Now, just from then, there was a little knock on. Southeast going to get the ball. Now you're back under pressure. This is very interesting here.
Jablonski with the ball in hand. We see Hayes in the first receiver position behind the scrum to the left with a little bit of depth. Different shape from the Southeast. Something was afoot, but we need to straighten out the scrum first. This is about the 5th referee chat that we've had between our front rows, looking for that straight engagement. We don't want boring. We want players keeping their feet strong and stable through the core. Jablonski. And we see the same shape from these Bears. So numbers to the far side, but a bit of a stagger. Potential for an insert. But first they need to win the scrum. Jablonski digs it out. And here we see a bit of action. The action coming in the form of a kick. It is a gorgeous kick. It is high. Little too deep and straight into the hands of Musunguini. And here he goes on the run. Musunguini with the ball in hand, tipped up by the ankles. It's the one roll, able to keep his feet, and Midwest with the ball. We see the attempt at the offload from the Midwest forward, thrown forward. This buys the Bears a bit of breathe. Well, a bit of a breath.
Just everything he does, he's just a class above. You know, again, the wind is swirling. He made the catch look easy. He takes off. Everyone else on the field can take off. They get tackled. He takes off. He makes 2 or 3 people miss before he gets finally stopped barely at the 10-meter line.
Yeah, his ability to get to pace. He caught that ball and he was off like a shot. But regardless, the Bears do enough. They're able to get him down, prevent the next break through the line, prevent a potential try given the speed we just saw on display, and it is a scrum. Bears ball, looking out towards the right. Midwest collapsing quick in defense that could open a hole. Instead, the Bears are there, getting that leg drive going forward, low body positions, anticipating these strong Midwest tackles. It's the Bears conceding a penalty again. They do so well when they maintain possession, but just these little bits giving the Midwest the ball and giving them a little bit of control with about 3 minutes left to go.
Yeah, that was a big penalty. Now he says he's motioned as though they're going to have a kick at goal, which will eat up the clock, and there's an excellent chance that he could make it. No, instead, after further review, they said, let's have a scrum.
There is the risk always of missing that penalty attempt and giving the Southeast a scrum up, so they're just going to choose to have a scrum that they know they can control, an outcome they can control, still in the lead by 3 points, 2.5 minutes left to go. Looking for a Midwest scrum. We see communication there between Cohen Webb and his inside center, Andy Naringo. Naringo was all over the field yesterday, another player with experience with the Zimbabwe. Born U20 All-American in 2023 as well, after playing with the Zimbabwe U20s.
Well, they've got a great team for the future, I can report that. If I had any money left after playing cards, I would put some money on them for the next World Cup, but there you go.
Heaps of player development in action. We'll see what develops from this scrum on the field. The Midwest with the stack. Their first receiver, Cohen Webb. He's got Musanguini immediately to his left and a steep back line out to the right. There's Webb. Naringo was there in support. Webb keeps the ball in hand. The Bears don't buy it. They make the tackle. Pugh being tied up by Morrison. Morrison wisely releases, does not concede another penalty to the Midwest. There's the try scorer, Hahn. Midwest with their forward pods on both sides. Bread and butter when it comes to eating up time on this clock. About 1.5 minutes left to go, pending the referee's time on the field. And the Midwest again, slow playing, wisely playing, not looking to concede possession.
Good understanding of time and in place. And this is, you know, the players are dictating this. You know, you can't. Yeah, I mean, good coaching here from these guys too, to make sure that they know what to do in certain instances in the game. They're just milking the clock here.
Midwest gaining meters. Pugh. Again, look at this. The attempt at the tie-up by Beacom. If you're Pugh, you want to make sure you're carrying low and getting that shoulder to ground. Midwest does get to ground 5 meters out from the goal line. And again, the Bears getting their hands on that ball, looking for the strip. The Midwest able to fight it. Advantage being shown to the Barbarians. See the drive continuing onward. Space towards the far side of the field. There's some space indeed for their number 10 from the Midwest, Cohen Webb.
Yeah, nice little fend there by Cohen Webb. Very hard to bring down, and he spotted a hole, and by God, he went straight through it like right up a drain pipe.
The Bears were defending so well, keeping their bodies low, looking at the right shoulder charges or not, releasing the ball when it was potentially being held up. No penalties conceded there, although advantage was shown to the Midwest. We go in again, phases and phases of forward play. You see the Great Leagues team behind them, loving the action. The distribution towards the outside. Webb just has the one to beat, does it with the footwork over the line, and Cohen Webb patiently waiting as the forwards do the work, make their way downfield, and he extends the Midwest lead 15-7 with a conversion to come.
Yeah, he was under penalty advantage there. He said, let's have a dab with it. And it was a really nice fend. He shed that one tackler, and after that he was through, as the defence had headed, thought he was going to make the pass to that left-hand side. Nice try.
Yep, Cohen Webb, an experienced player, a sophomore out of Iowa Central Community College, who went on the NCR All-American trip to France. That was a team that was coached by the New England Reds coach Eddie. So potential rematch, some representative players and coaches as well. Of course, coming up next will be that other semifinal between the New England Independence Red and the Great Lakes team. We'll wait for a final Musinguini conversion attempt.
Impressive. A poster as well. He just about knocked those uprights over.
The distance, the force, and the speed. An excellent showing by Musinguini and his full Midwest team. Looks like we may still have time on the field. 15-7 the score. Fortunately, there's no 8-point tries in the game of rugby. The difficult task at hand for the Southeast Bears. Still wanting to end on a high note. There will be a third-place game to play. An uncharacteristic error here on the restart. The kick not 10, and the Midwest with an option for a re-kick or scrum midfield.
Yeah, and there was a big gust too just before that, so he might have just caught a little gust of wind there. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt there. How's that?
That suits quite well.
He needs a caddy to adjust for the wind there.
So we see the scrum set at midfield. The Midwest with their back split to either side. Rather flat. Would anticipate a kick to touch off the back of the scrum. There's the ball in play. There's a kick to touch. And there is the game. The Midwest Barbarians advancing 15-7 over the Southeast Bears. It was a tight game yesterday in pool play, a tight game again today. We look forward to the next semifinal to come. Again, New England Independence Red taking on the Great Lakes Thunderbirds. I'm Liz Entwistle alongside Chip Burnside here at Silverback Stadium and the National Collegiate Rugby All-Star event.